How to improve your English. Maya lived in a quiet town, her heart yearning for global connections, yet a significant barrier stood in her path: English. Despite countless efforts and late-night study sessions, fluency seemed an impossible dream, a distant star. She often felt overwhelmed by textbooks and complex grammar rules, despairing at her slow progress and the vast ocean of new vocabulary she desperately needed to acquire. One day, scrolling through a language forum, a seasoned polyglot shared a profound secret: why you must listen. This wasn't just passive hearing but active engagement, soaking in sounds, rhythms, and natural speech patterns. Maya realized her previous attempts had overlooked this crucial, foundational step, focusing too much on rote memorization rather than natural acquisition through immersive sound experiences. She decided to embrace this advice wholeheartedly, transforming her daily routine into a vibrant language laboratory. How to practice English became her new mantra, moving beyond just textbooks. She started with podcasts during her morning walks, immersing herself in conversations, even if understanding felt elusive initially, trusting the process of auditory exposure to slowly build her comprehension. Her dedicated listening journey began with simple, engaging content, things she genuinely enjoyed. Cartoons, children's stories, and short documentaries filled her evenings, shifting from frustration to curiosity. Maya understood that consistent exposure, even without full comprehension at first, was gradually training her ear to recognize unfamiliar sounds and speech patterns, a vital step in her learning process. She diversified her listening sources, adding news broadcasts, interviews, and even TED Talks. This variety introduced her to different accents and speaking speeds, preparing her for real-world interactions. Maya discovered that by varying the topics, she not only broadened her vocabulary but also kept her motivation high, preventing boredom from derailing her consistent daily practice routine. Beyond merely understanding words, she focused on intonation and stress, the musicality of English. She noticed how native speakers conveyed emotion and emphasis through their voice, aspects often missed in written texts. This subtle yet powerful element of language became a fascinating study for Maya, deepening her appreciation for the nuances of spoken communication and expression. Repetition became her silent ally. Maya re-listened to favorite podcast episodes or short story segments multiple times, noticing new details with each pass. This deliberate practice solidified her understanding of vocabulary and context and reinforced grammatical structures naturally. It was a powerful technique for internalizing patterns, moving beyond conscious effort towards intuitive recognition of language elements. She adopted active listening techniques, pausing frequently to mentally summarize what she heard or even repeat phrases aloud. This engagement transformed listening from a passive activity into a dynamic learning tool. Maya found that by interacting with the audio, she improved her retention and sharpened her auditory comprehension skills significantly, making every listening session more productive. The transition from passive listening to active engagement was slow but rewarding. Maya learned to predict what speakers might say next, to identify key ideas, and to distinguish between similar-sounding words. This deeper level of auditory processing dramatically improved her overall comprehension, making conversations less daunting and more enjoyable, enhancing her learning journey daily. Her daily ritual became a testament to the listen and practice mantra. Every spare moment was an opportunity to engage with English, whether through a quick podcast snippet or a few minutes of her favorite English song. This consistent integration into her life made learning feel less like a chore and more like an enjoyable, continuous discovery process. Listening alone was not enough. She knew speaking was the ultimate frontier. How to practice English verbally was her next challenge. The thought of uttering even a single sentence aloud often made her nervous, fearing mistakes and judgment from others, which was a common obstacle for many language learners she had encountered online. The initial fear of speaking out loud was immense. Maya worried about pronunciation, grammar errors, and sounding awkward. This self-consciousness often stifled her attempts, leaving her feeling frustrated and defeated. She realized that overcoming this internal barrier was as crucial as understanding the language itself, a psychological hurdle she needed to bravely confront. Then she discovered a revolutionary, judgment-free solution: how to talk at home to yourself. This idea seemed strange at first, but soon became her secret weapon. Standing in front of her mirror, she began describing her reflection, her room, or even narrating her simple daily tasks, building confidence without any external pressure. The benefits of self-talk were immediate and profound. There was no one to correct her, no one to judge her accent or mistakes. Maya could experiment with new words and sentence structures freely, making errors without embarrassment. This safe space allowed her to develop muscle memory for speaking English, slowly turning hesitation into fluent expression. She expanded her self-talk practice, describing everything around her in English. As she cooked, she named ingredients. While cleaning, she narrated her actions. This constant internal monologue in English helped her connect objects and actions directly with their English equivalents, bypassing translation and fostering a more intuitive understanding of the language. Maya also used self-talk to practice specific phrases and common conversational patterns. She imagined scenarios: ordering food, asking for directions, or introducing herself. By rehearsing these interactions aloud, she built a mental library of ready-to-use sentences, making real-life conversations less intimidating and more spontaneous when the opportunity eventually arose. Learning words became a more active process, moving beyond simple flashcards. How to learn words effectively meant connecting them to her experiences and emotions. She stopped trying to memorize isolated words and instead focused on understanding their nuances within sentences and phrases, making their recall much easier and more natural. She understood the power of contextual learning for new vocabulary. Instead of just happy, she learned ecstatically happy or overjoyed, understanding the shades of meaning. Maya would try to use new words immediately in her self-talk or journaling, cementing them in her memory by actively applying them in meaningful ways. Spaced repetition software became an invaluable tool for reinforcing new words and phrases. Maya diligently reviewed her growing vocabulary, ensuring that previously learned terms remained fresh in her mind. This systematic approach prevented her from forgetting words she had already learned, consolidating her knowledge base efficiently over time. Connecting words to images, feelings, or even short, memorable stories helped her bypass direct translation. When she learned serene, she pictured a calm lake at sunrise. For boisterous, she imagined a lively crowd. This multi-sensory approach created stronger memory links, making her vocabulary recall more intuitive and less effortful in conversations. She started a digital personal dictionary, not just with definitions, but with example sentences she created herself. This personalized resource was tailored to her specific needs and interests, making learning more relevant. Maya found that reviewing these self-made entries periodically was far more effective than generic word lists, solidifying her understanding and usage. Regular review of her learned words was non-negotiable. Even 5 minutes a day dedicated to vocabulary recall made a significant difference. Maya discovered that consistent, small efforts yielded better long-term retention than sporadic, intense study sessions, reinforcing the cumulative nature of language acquisition, bit by bit, every single day. The role of storytelling emerged as a fun way to learn and practice new words. Maya started creating short, imaginative narratives using her newly acquired vocabulary. This creative exercise made the learning process enjoyable and helped her naturally integrate words into coherent sentences, transforming passive knowledge into active, usable language for communication. With her confidence slowly blossoming from self-talk and consistent listening, Maya felt a growing readiness for the next big step: how to speak with people. The thought was still daunting, but her preparation had equipped her with a solid foundation, turning vague anxiety into a manageable challenge, a goal within reach. Her first real-life encounter was with a tourist asking for directions. Maya's heart pounded, but she remembered her self-talk practice. She managed to articulate a coherent response, even correcting herself mid-sentence. The tourist understood, and a wave of exhilaration washed over her, proving her efforts were indeed yielding tangible results. Overcoming shyness in speaking required continuous effort. Maya understood that perfection was impossible and that mistakes were natural parts of the learning curve. She actively sought opportunities to engage, even in short exchanges, focusing on conveying her message rather than flawless grammar, slowly chipping away at her inhibitions. The importance of small conversations became evident. A quick chat with a barista, a brief interaction at the grocery store, or even a simple greeting to a neighbor were valuable practice grounds. These low-stakes interactions built her confidence incrementally, preparing her for longer, more complex discussions without overwhelming her. Maya embraced every mistake as a learning opportunity. Instead of feeling embarrassed, she started asking for clarification or politely requesting corrections from understanding native speakers. This proactive approach transformed errors from stumbling blocks into stepping stones, accelerating her learning process and making her more resilient. She learned from every interaction, noting down new phrases or common responses she heard. After each conversation, she would reflect on what went well and what could be improved. This analytical approach to her speaking practice ensured continuous growth, making every dialogue a valuable lesson in real-world communication. Finding language exchange partners online became a game-changer. These structured conversations provided a safe and supportive environment to practice speaking with real people. Maya found immense value in reciprocal learning, where she helped others with her native language while they patiently assisted her with English, fostering mutual growth. The question of how to talk with anyone transformed from a mystery into a skill she was actively developing. Confidence, she realized, wasn't about knowing everything, but about being willing to try, to be vulnerable, and to connect genuinely with others, regardless of her current fluency level, celebrating every small step forward. She focused on asking open-ended questions that encouraged more than just yes or no answers. This technique kept conversations flowing and allowed her to practice more complex sentence structures while also learning about her conversation partners. It turned simple interactions into richer, more meaningful exchanges for both parties. Showing genuine interest in what others had to say became her conversational superpower. When people felt heard and valued, they were more patient and willing to continue the dialogue, even if her English wasn't perfect. This approach fostered positive interactions, turning language practice into enjoyable social connections and rewarding experiences. Active listening in conversations was as crucial as speaking. Maya made a conscious effort to truly hear and process what others said, asking clarifying questions when needed. This not only improved her comprehension but also showed respect, making her a more engaging and empathetic conversationalist, enriching every interaction profoundly. The joy of connection through English became her greatest motivator. Suddenly, the world felt smaller, more accessible. She could understand global news, enjoy international films without subtitles, and, most importantly, forge new friendships with people from diverse backgrounds, breaking down cultural barriers effortlessly through shared communication. Maya understood that learning English was a continuous journey, not a destination. She never stopped seeking new ways to improve her English, always embracing fresh challenges and expanding her horizons. The language was a living entity, constantly evolving, and so too was her learning process, always dynamic and engaging. She set new, achievable goals for herself, reading an entire English novel, watching a foreign film without subtitles, or even giving a short presentation in English. These milestones kept her motivated and provided clear markers of her progress, ensuring her learning journey remained purposeful and exciting every step of the way. Reflecting on her progress became a powerful reinforcement. Maya kept a journal, noting her weekly achievements, however small. Looking back at her journey, from hesitant whispers to confident conversations, filled her with immense pride and renewed her determination to continue mastering the language, acknowledging how far she had truly come. Her journey itself had become a very interesting story to her friends and family. They marveled at her transformation, from someone who barely spoke English to a confident communicator. Maya's personal narrative inspired others to embark on their own language learning adventures, demonstrating the incredible power of perseverance and dedication. How to improve your English, she now knew, was a holistic endeavor encompassing listening, speaking, reading, and writing, all intertwined. It wasn't just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It was about immersing oneself in the language and culture, allowing it to become a natural part of daily life and expression. Combining all the methods she had learned, consistent listening, dedicated self-talk, strategic vocabulary acquisition, and brave real-life conversations, created a powerful synergy. Each component reinforced the others, building a robust foundation for fluency and confidence, proving that a multifaceted approach yielded the best, most sustainable results. Daily consistency was undeniably the key. Even on busy days, Maya dedicated at least 20 minutes to English, whether reviewing words, listening to a podcast, or engaging in quick self-talk. These small, consistent efforts accumulated into significant progress over time, far outweighing sporadic, intense study sessions, she firmly believed. Celebrating small victories kept her spirits high. Understanding a complex phrase, successfully ordering food, or holding a 5-minute conversation without stumbling were all reasons to acknowledge her progress. These moments of triumph fueled her motivation, reminding her that every step, no matter how small, brought her closer to her goals. English was no longer just a subject to study but a vital tool for exploration and connection. It opened doors to new cultures, diverse perspectives, and incredible opportunities she never imagined possible. The language became a bridge, connecting her to the global community, enriching her life in countless, unexpected ways. Her transformation was complete. Maya, once timid and hesitant, now spoke English with ease and confidence. She traveled, engaged with people from different countries, and even started a blog in English, sharing her experiences and insights with a global audience, embodying the very essence of fluent communication and connection. New opportunities arose everywhere. She got an international internship, something she only dreamed of before. Her ability to communicate effectively in English allowed her to excel in cross-cultural teams, proving that language skills are not just about personal growth but also professional advancement in an interconnected world. Connecting with the global community became a daily reality. Online forums, international webinars, and virtual meetups filled her calendar. Maya discovered the richness of shared ideas and diverse viewpoints, all accessible because she had dedicated herself to mastering English, fostering a true sense of belonging and global citizenship. The world literally opened up to her. Maya traveled independently, navigated foreign cities with ease, and engaged in deep conversations with locals, experiencing cultures in a way she never could have imagined without English. Her linguistic journey had granted her an unparalleled freedom to explore and truly understand different societies. Her advice to others starting their English journey was simple: embrace the process, be patient, and never give up. She emphasized the power of consistent daily effort and the importance of finding joy in every small improvement, reminding them that fluency is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring dedication. She stressed the paramount importance of patience. Language learning takes time, and there will be plateaus and moments of frustration. Maya learned to be kind to herself, to acknowledge progress even when it felt slow, and to trust that consistent effort would eventually yield the desired results, step by patient step. Reaffirming listen and practice was always at the core of her message. She believed active listening built foundational comprehension, while consistent practice, especially self-talk, solidified speaking abilities. This continuous cycle of input and output was, in her experience, the most effective path to genuine fluency and confident communication. Maya knew the journey itself was the greatest reward. The personal growth, the discipline gained, and the barriers overcome were invaluable. English was not just a language, it was a vehicle for self-discovery, resilience, and expanding her understanding of the world, making every effort worthwhile and deeply satisfying. The ongoing adventure of language learning continued to thrill her. There were always new idioms to learn, new accents to understand, and new cultural nuances to explore. English had become a lifelong passion, a dynamic pursuit that consistently challenged her while simultaneously enriching her life in profound and unexpected ways. Maya's final reflections echoed a universal truth: language unlocks more than words, it unlocks worlds. Her dedication transformed a daunting task into an empowering journey, enabling her to live a life far richer and more connected than she ever thought possible, truly becoming a global citizen through her linguistic mastery. So, embark on your own English adventure. Listen intently, practice bravely, talk to yourself, talk to anyone. Let Maya's story inspire you to unlock your voice, connect with the world, and discover the incredible power of fluent English. Your extraordinary journey awaits, promising endless possibilities and profound connections.